If you were the leader of the strongest country in the world, will you disappoint your people by refusing to fulfill your most important job duty? No, we're not talking about releasing your tax returns or stop tweeting. It is actually a duty that will benefit you more than anyone else. You may have guessed it. Today's mystery is about Queen Elizabeth I. It is a mystery that has puzzled many for the last 500 years. Why would a beautiful young woman refuse to fulfill her dynastic duty? In 1559, when Elizabeth was crowned Queen of England, she was the queen to get. Her list of suitors was 3 pages long. Let's put it this way. You can hardly find one European monarchy not on the list. This list is so long. There were 34 principal suitors from 1533 to 1585, not counting the suitors not suitable for a queen like her. Unlike her poor cousin, Queen Mary of Scots, Queen Elizabeth could pretty much have any of these eligible bachelors. Of course, her first marriage proposal came in when she was 1 year old from Charles, Earl of Angoulême, in 1534, followed by Duke of Orleans in 1536, but the offer from Archduke Ferdinand of Austria seemed to be a good choice. Then the offer from James Hamilton, who was third to the throne of Scotland, came in 1543. Then an offer from Prince Felipe. That was 10 years before Prince Felipe married her sister, Mary Tudor. But all these powerful monarchs were no match when she met handsome Thomas Seymour, Lord Admiral of England, after she moved in with Queen Dowager Catherine Parr in 1547. Then there was the never-confirmed affairs between the two. But is that a reason for Queen Elizabeth to give up on marriage? We may never know. But whatever went on damaged both Princess Elizabeth and Lord Seymour's reputations. In 1549, when Thomas Seymour tried unsuccessfully to replace his brother, Lord Somerset, as protector of the king, he was charged with treason and executed on March 20th, 1549. The death of Thomas Seymour not only broke Princess Elizabeth's heart, but also landed her in suspicion and trouble. She had no marriage proposal for 4 years until the brother of Duke of Guise proposed in 1551, followed by Alfonso, son of Duke of Ferrara, and then son of Cosimo de' Medici, Duke of Florence. Then in 1552, Prince Frederick of Denmark proposed. In 1553, an arrangement for Princess Elizabeth to marry Edward Courtenay, Earl of Devonshire, was underway. He was the great-grandson of King Edward IV through his grandmother, Princess Catherine of York. So that marriage would have been a marriage of the 2 roses. However, no one can marry Princess Elizabeth without her brother, King Edward VI's approval. One story I read said both Henry VIII and Edward VI were unwilling to put up a dowry for Elizabeth nor Mary, which left these 2 priceless princesses penniless to wed. Although I can't find more support on that, I do think that is very likely. Just imagine how Edward VI cut both of his sisters off the succession. It was pretty obvious that he did not think much of them. But the marriage proposals kept on coming. Henry Fitzalan, son of the Earl of Arundel, Duque de Segorbe, Archduke Ferdinand of Austria, and Prince Frederick of Denmark all proposed in 1554, and Christopher Zaringen, Margrave of Baden, Philibert Emmanuel, Duke of Savoy, all asked for her hand in 1555, while Prince Eric of Sweden and the King of Spain's heir apparent, Don Carlos, proposed in 1556. Then in 1559, the newly widowed King Philippe II decided he may have a better chance than his son, so he proposed to Queen Elizabeth. But he was not the only king interested in the beautiful queen. Prince Eric of Sweden tried again, while the son of the Duke of Saxony and Sir William Pickering and James Hamilton from Scotland, Henry Fitzalan, Earl of Arundel, and Robert Dudley Earl of Leicester all tried their luck and failed in 1559. Some people said Queen Elizabeth enjoyed the attention and played her cards as part of the diplomatic game. But I don't think any country would be interested in a game like that. Other than Queen Elizabeth, most royals cared about their dynastic duty, which is to find a suitable wife and have healthy kids. Being considered a suitor was not an honor they liked to keep on playing year after year. So the only renewed proposal came in 1560 by Eric of Sweden, who was now King Eric the 16th, and Adolphus of Gottorp, Duke of Holstein. But King Charles IX of France and his brother Henri de Valois, Duke of Anjou, also joined the race in 1560. By this time, most suitors realized the one to beat was Sir Robert Dudley, Earl of Leicester. Everyone knew he was the Queen's favorite. He has an apartment next to the Queen. He was referred by the Queen as Eyes, or as Sweet Robin. In 1559, Dudley was elected a Knight of the Garter. People talked about how the Queen visited him in his chamber day and night. There were rumors about his dying wife, Amy Dudley, and the Queen's plan to marry Lord Robert when the wife is gone. There is little doubt about Queen Elizabeth's affection for Robert Dudley. In October 1562, Queen Elizabeth got smallpox and made Robert Dudley the protector of the realm, and with £20,000 a year. After that, Dudley was influential in both domestic and foreign affairs. He organized hundreds of festivities. This was probably what kept him going on his hopeless pursuit. Other than Robert Dudley, the only other suitor was Archduke Charles of Austria in 1568, and Henry de Valois, Duke of Anjou in 1570. Henry did not get the Queen of England, but became King of Poland in 1574 and then King of France in 1575. Like in the reality show Bachelorette, the beautiful girl can pick the man of her dreams from a full lineup of eligible bachelors. However, there is an end to the line no matter how many bachelors are waiting. In 1572, the 40-year-old Queen found one suitor left, 18-year-old Francis, Duke of Anjou. Hercule Francois was the youngest son of Henry II of France and Catherine de Medici. Since Henry III of France had no heir at the time, he was heir to the throne of France. As you can see in this picture, he was actually quite good-looking. So good-looking that I almost mistook him for another French leader who broke all the rules to marry his wife 24 years his senior. Just like the current French President Emmanuel Macron, the Duke of Anjou was quite rebellious. Although born a Catholic, he did not get along with his brother King Henry III and joined the Protestant rebels, his cousin Prince of Condé and King of Navarre. This forced his brother Henry to sign the Edict of Boulogne in 1576 without a fight. In 1579, when 24-year-old Duke of Anjou came to court with 45-year-old Queen Elizabeth, the two became very close. But the romance was not welcomed by the English people, who considered his Catholic faith a threat to England. But in 1578 and 1581, the Duke of Anjou became the protector to the Huguenots and a potential leader of the Dutch. English's virgin queen was close to losing her virginity to this French charm half her age. When Walsingham was sent to France in mid-1581 to discuss an Anglo-French alliance, it was almost a done deal. But the French wanted the marriage agreed first, while the English were under instruction to obtain a treaty before committing to the marriage. As the deal fell apart, the rest is history. On Anjou's 1581 farewell, Queen Elizabeth penned a poem on Monsieur's departure. Unless she wrote the poem with the intention to fool us all, she seemed to really love the young prince. When the broken-hearted Anjou suffered another defeat in Antwerp, Queen Elizabeth officially ended their engagement. Duke of Anjou returned back to Paris and died in 1584. When the Queen heard of his death, she cried publicly for 3 whole weeks and wore black for 6 months. To the French ambassador, she described herself as, quote, a widow woman who has lost her husband. So the Virgin Queen was not a virgin by choice, but by circumstances. But there must be a reason why she let so many great marriage proposals go. It is a mystery best to remain unsolved. This is Ken Peters. Thank you for watching.